She stepped into the dealership adorned in a pair of jeans paired with a classic white t-shirt, seeking information about a high-end automobile. The salesman surveyed her from head to toe with a hint of disdain. "I must say, I believe you're mistaken," he sneered, gesturing to the wrong place. As one approaches the exit, these vehicles begin their journey. $300. 000 like the other staff members, chuckled softly as the customers gazed at her expression. Overcome by a wave of embarrassment, she departed. In silence, as dawn broke the next morning. A gleaming Rolls Royce Phantom glided to a stop. Outside the dealership when the back door opened, the salesman's jaw dropped. He never saw it. Arriving at the esteemed Boston luxury, Motors glimmered brilliantly in the embrace of the morning light. Glass walls unveiled a dazzling array of exotic vehicles that many would merely envision a future where a Porsche, a Bentley, and an Aston Martin grace your driveway. Martin Ferrari, each one more costly than the last. The final chapter of Margaret Collins, known as Maggie. Those who were familiar with her ventured through the doors, her brown ponytail dancing with each step. With each step, her simple white attire seemed to whisper a tale of elegance. An old t-shirt, faded jeans, and a simple style. The makeup mirrored a woman who cherished. At 35, she values practicality more than presentation. Radiated a subtle assurance that stemmed from understanding precisely her identity and what it was not. Clearly evident from her unassuming look was Maggie was the visionary behind the creation and force propelling it forward. The driving spirit behind the Collins Foundation for Children with Disabilities, an organization that had undergone a remarkable transformation. Countless young souls. Long before the present day, upon meeting her now husband, she had crafted the essence emerging from the void, cascading around her, compassion and learning in special needs. The journey of crafting genuine transformation as she stepped into the showroom. Her eyes swiftly descended upon a polished midnight, a blue coupe, just right for her sister's 40th celebration. The birthday Caroline had always envisioned, possessing a high-end vehicle and emerging victorious. Last year, Maggie faced the challenge of breast cancer and had a desire to present her with something genuinely extraordinary. She could easily afford it for her foundation. Achievements and individual ventures had ensured she felt at ease in her own essence, though only a handful were aware. Just beyond the gleaming showroom, Blake Thompson, with a careful flick of his wrist, straightened his blue tie and he adjusted his navy suit jacket with a careful touch, ensuring every detail was just right. The sales manager took great pride in his role, capable of recognizing genuine buyers right away at the vision of Maggie in her laid-back attire. With a sly grin, he acknowledged his attire with a nod. "My dear colleagues, this promises to be quite entertaining." In the gentle light of morning, Maggie cast a warm smile at a young soul, a salesman by the name of Daniel who made his way towards her. "Greetings and a warm welcome to Boston Luxury Motors, where your journey begins." "Daniel, is there a particular detail you have in mind? What captures your attention today?" Before Maggie, Blake, with a deft touch, intercepted the response seamlessly. "Leave this to me, Daniel," he declared, then faced Maggie with a smile that had been honed over time. That did not meet his gaze, searching for guidance, dear lady. And in an instant, Maggie's adventure at the dealership commenced with a day that would shift viewpoints forever. "All individuals," Maggie responded, her voice carrying a hint of engagement. "I'm quite intrigued by that." She gestured towards the coupe, its midnight blue hue shimmering under the soft glow of the streetlights. A vehicle worth $285. 000 showcased on the elevated platform. Blake Thompson wore a smile that could light up the entire scene. He tightened his grip, for he had witnessed this scene unfold before, among the people, drifting into a reverie about automobiles they could never afford with the conclusion of Monin. With deadlines approaching and 3 eager buyers in the mix, the scene is set for an intriguing turn of events. It was anticipated that afternoon, yet he found himself with no time to spare for dreams. That's the exclusive version. Only 15 of these remarkable Azure creations were crafted this year, he shared. Spoke with a deliberate cadence, highlighting every syllable as though, as I engage with a young one, I might find a way to weave my words. Allow me to guide you to our pre-owned vehicle section. They find themselves in a different structure, approximately 3 blocks east. Maggie observed how her eyes flitted across her unadorned attire. She found herself lost in thought, her gaze drifting down to her scuffed sneakers. Familiar with these assessments, the majority of individuals was completely unaware that she had made this choice on purpose, an approach to existence that uncovers liberation and the beauty of simplicity. Even with the abundance of options available, I have a deep desire to uncover the secrets of immense wealth. Let me share more about this remarkable journey of resilience and determination. May I kindly inquire if it is possible to see the inside? Blake's expression darkened. Behind him, 2 salesmen engaged in a lively exchange. Knowing glances, the Azure is near. Only by appointment. He wove his tale with ease. Clients with a keen sense of purpose often arrange exclusive glimpses. Just then a pair, clad in exquisite designer attire, stepped into. In a heartbeat, Blake's demeanor shifted dramatically. "Please excuse me," he said to Maggie. Without truly gazing upon her, one might wonder why. "Why not grab a brochure, Daniel? You can." He moved closer to assist with that. A couple stands with arms outstretched, ready to welcome Mr. "Ah, Mrs. Harrington, what a delight it is to see you once more, Daniel." The junior salesman came to Maggie with a smile. He seemed no older than 25, and his suit appeared to be a size too large. "Apologies for that," he murmured softly. "Shall I share a tale about the Azure? I would like to express my gratitude," Maggie replied, with great fervor. Daniel painted a vivid picture of the. Maggie took note of the features of the vehicle as she observed Blake, guiding the elegantly attired pair straight ahead to the Azure. He gently opened the door with a sense of wonder, graciously beckoning Mrs. Harrington to take a seat. Within the very vehicle he had asserted was. Appointments are required, and that's perfectly fine. Maggie offered reassurance to the now uneasy Daniel. "I see how these matters unfold." As Blake moved gracefully through the showroom, a tale of elegance and style unfolded around him. Delivering his meticulously crafted pitch, "This particular model has a routine, an 8-month waiting list, but I've made my preparations. Set aside one for special clients, Mrs. Harrington glided her fingers across The leather interior is truly exquisite, yet I find myself uncertain about the hue we might choose." "Absolutely. Let's explore the various custom options available, Blake." With a gentle confidence, Maggie made her way forward. Standing just within earshot, I called out, "Excuse me." She expressed her desire to ask about. "Acquiring this model has refined Blake's visage. As I shared with you before, this vehicle is." As he presented to these customers, he remarked, with a hint of barely concealed frustration perhaps. "Perhaps you might return at another moment, or as I consider exploring our selection of pre-owned vehicles." The couple exchanged uneasy glances. Blake and Maggie, they're the focus of my tale. Maggie expressed her interest in this car. "Serenely for my sister's upcoming birthday. In the month of Blake." He took a step back from the. Harrington leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Listen, it's clear that people have a penchant for dreaming, yet this is a location where vehicles will find their purpose, exceeding the price of the average home these days. I've been calmly waiting. Yet you find yourself interrupting a genuine transaction with several customers in the vicinity." Paused to observe the awkward. Daniel hovered anxiously at the exchange. On the outskirts. "I'm ready to offer cash," Maggie urged. "Make your purchase today." It was in her composure that Blake's. The veneer of professionalism has shattered completely. He let out a brief, grating chuckle that resounded throughout the showroom floor. Numerous heads turned as a cash purchase truly captivated him. The voice grew stronger, crafted to. "This isn't a yard sale, so let's not humiliate ourselves discussing a conflict worth $1 million. Individuals with the means to purchase these vehicles avoid dressing in the manner he indicated." With a wave of her hand, she glanced at Maggie's outfit. Her cheeks flushed, not from an awkwardness that unfolds gradually. Frustration not for herself she'd experienced such treatment before. Yet for anyone who had ever faced the gaze of judgment from there. "In my view, the value of my money stands strong. As anyone else's," she murmured softly. Blake approached, his presence looming above her. "Allow me to clarify." He expressed his refusal, stating it was no longer the case. "Making an effort to conceal your contempt. You are spending my moments and feeling humiliated. Schedule a time for A thoughtful dialogue adorned. Kindly ensure you act accordingly or take your leave. The showroom lay in hushed stillness. The Harry Ingtons had taken a step back from. The car was clearly. Is there something amiss that makes one feel uneasy? A fresh voice entered the dialogue. The owner of the dealership. Richard Mason. Drawn in by the ruckus, Blake. He adjusted his tie with ease, responding, "Of course, sir, just sharing with this lady how we function. Available by appointment for those truly interested." Richard Mason took a moment to evaluate the circumstances at hand, swiftly absorbing Maggie's uncomplicated, the watching crowd and his appearance. The expression revealed unmistakably where his allegiance lay. "As I was observing," he remarked, "Miss Collins." Maggie provided for Miss Margaret Collins. "Ah, Collins, it seems there may have been often misinterpreting our customers. They grasp the essence of being exclusive. I have a deep understanding of our vehicles," Maggie responded, her voice unwavering despite the searing shame igniting within her heart. "Your sales manager has crafted your." With clarity in the policies, Blake took a step forward. Once more, his voice oozing with patronizing. "If you're truly curious, though I question if you would label it as such, for a meeting, but I would recommend presenting evidence of financial capability and adorning oneself in the finest attire." He waved his hand, indicating the cars surrounding them. Showrooms cater to a specific class of. A soft murmur flowed through the crowd. As the crowd gathered, a soft chuckle escaped from one of the onlookers, directed at Maggie. Glanced about at the scrutinizing expressions of those gathered. Blake wore a self-satisfied grin at the owners, an unspoken acceptance of his employees' conduct. She had encountered prejudice in the past. Yet, it is seldom that I witness such overt displays in a public setting. She spoke with a quiet grace, her dignity unwavering, yet, with a heart heavy and spirits bruised, she turned and walked away. As she moved toward the exit, a sound reached her ears from behind. Blake's voice lingered in the air, just a touch too loud for the moment. "There are those who seem unaware of where they truly belong." As she gracefully pushed through the glass doors. As the morning sunlight poured in, Maggie gently pulled herself forward. As she pulled out her phone, the sting of humiliation washed over her. A faint yet determined smile graced her lips. Lips pursed as she dialed the Collins estate. Rested upon 5 serene acres just outside Boston. Its subtle charm unfolding. None of the countless behind its. Alexander Collins had a preference for ownership. At the age of 41, the innovative mind had transformed the landscape of renewable energy storage, crafting a wealth of opportunity through innovation, keeping a subtle presence. As Maggie stepped into his home office, with a thoughtful gaze, Alexander lifted his eyes from the cluttered surface of his desk. Without hesitation, he put his work aside. 15 years spent together had honed his ability to understand her expressions with meticulous detail. He inquired, his voice tinged with concern, about the misfortune that had unfolded. As she moved around the desk, Maggie sank into her seat. Settled into a leather chair, the morning's events cascading around her, a fresh realization dawned. She spoke of education, her smile rising like the sun at dawn. That didn't reach her eyes. She recounted the experience at the dealership, the disdain, the degradation, the clear bias as she expressed herself, with a shadow crossing his features. Alexander held my tongue, allowing her the room to. In the end, she realized it wasn't about her. "I have the honor of stepping away, understanding the truth, yet pondering how many souls are aware to endure such treatment daily without the warmth of realizing they truly could obtain what is being withheld from them." Alexander nodded with a contemplative air in there. Through the passage of time, this was what had always been. What touched him deeply about Maggie was her an unwavering care for those around us, even in times of difficulty. She had faced her own injustices. But what of it? What would you like to do about it? He inquired. At long last, a part of me yearns for stillness, to embrace the quiet and simply be. She confessed she simply purchased Caroline's gift. A young salesman named Daniel who showed me kindness, with honor no matter my state, clothed, and I ponder the multitude of souls, who endures such scrutiny with no options left. She gazed straight ahead. At Alexander, these individuals must grasp that value isn't defined by appearance, yet I seek not revenge. With a thoughtful nod, Alexander acknowledged the desire for awareness. An idea is taking shape, and I believe I may have a concept that achieves neither. With a flair for the theatrical, Maggie issued a warning. Fully aware of her surroundings, the husband's instincts to shield and guard are unwavering, leaving no room for purchases. The dealership and letting everyone go. Alexander chuckled. Not at all in a typical way, but perhaps he leaned in, his eyes sparkling with mischief. A touch of learning is needed for us all, together. They wove a scheme not for retribution but for illumination. A possibility that could shift viewpoints with greater impact. More than just simple. Retribution, my friend. Are you truly certain you don't desire it? When shall we embark? Alexander inquired. They had woven together the final threads, Maggie. She shook her head, insisting, this isn't about me. Longing to see their reckoning. It's a journey of discovery, where they begin to perceive the world in a new light. With a moment's hesitation, she continued, adding a touch of intrigue to her words. Grin. Yet I anticipate a comprehensive account as the sun dipped below the horizon, a gentle evening embraced their home. Alexander picked up the phone and dialed a few numbers, reaching out to those he needed to connect with. Setting the stage for the dawn of a new day would unveil a profound tale of humility, and the peril of making assumptions extends beyond Blake Thompson. A tale that resonates with all in Boston. Opulence. If you're savoring this tale, give it a thumbs up, that subscribe button, and become part of our tale. Gather around, fellow enthusiasts of tales, and let us embark on this journey together. Return to witness the unfolding events. The dawn of the next morning unfolded with. The weather was simply idyllic for Blake Thompson. Stepped into Boston Luxury Motors with a sense of anticipation. IDS. Trading his signature with a confident flourish. The blue tie from yesterday's incident with a woman in casual attire had turned into quite the entertaining sight. A tale he recounted while enjoying drinks with fellow dreamers, another one lost in their fantasies. Contemplating her place in the realm of. The showroom sparkled with opulence. Lights were positioned with great care, illuminating the sleek lines of exotic cars, placed with careful thought to enhance their allure. Blake had just completed the gather round for the morning staff meeting, where we will shine a light on the significance of identifying the right customers. He'd carefully instructed our time is precious, dear sales team, and we are here to serve. To a particular audience, it's not about exclusivity. It's all about efficiency, young Daniel. The salesman kept his silence throughout Blake's discomfort was palpable as he faced the situation, resolved to have a conversation with him regarding the appropriate evaluation of customers at the stroke of 10:17 a.m. The soothing hum of a remarkable engine captivated Drew. Gaze beyond, down through the ground to ceiling windows in a vehicle like no other. Other came to a graceful halt right before of the main entrance dialogues, paused in the midst of his words. Even Blake, usually unmoved by opulent automobiles given each day spent near them, quickened his heartbeat. Accelerate. A Rolls Royce Phantom extended the wheelbase. But this isn't just any Phantom. It was a one-of-a-kind creation, crafted with distinct features. The midnight blue finish that appeared to transform hues in the sunlight. Cautious calculations would position its an amount exceeding 1.2. The tale of Richard Mason, the man who holds a fortune in the millions, had stepped out of his office, lured by in an unexpected hush, the enigmatic Phantom. Blake began to speak. It has been confirmed, and we are already making our way toward an entrance of an extremely rare configuration. The chauffeur, clad in a crisp uniform, stepped out from the vehicle, strolled over to the Rolls Royce and opened the door. The rear passenger door, painted in white. With careful precision from the vehicle, there appeared a man of striking authority. Tall, impeccably dressed in a finely tailored a suit that spoke softly rather than loudly. Its 5-figure price tag, his salt, and his pepper hair was perfectly groomed. Posture exuding confidence. Blake's knack for persuasion came alive. Overdrive. This was truly exceptional. This was the type of client to seek out. Dealerships vied for the kind whose the acquisitions encompassed more than a single vehicle, yet perhaps a journey that continues. Good morning, sir. Welcome to a world of worth millions. Blake called out to Boston Luxury Motors, capturing the attention of the esteemed guest. Before any other salesperson had the chance, engage with Blake Thompson, the sales manager. It brings me immense joy to welcome you. Joining us today is the man known as Ed Blake. With a mysterious look then, presented a courteous smile that fell short. He reached his eyes. Alexander Collins responded with a confident handshake. Blake's mind raced. The name resonated. Somewhat known, yet he was unable to grasp it. Without delay, set it in position no matter the Rolls Royce conveyed a rich narrative about the financial standing of Mr. Collins. It is indeed a privilege to have you here. What brings you to our gathering? In a modest setting today, I find myself reflecting. Allow me to unveil our latest treasures that have just arrived. I've just come into possession of a rare, limited edition treasure. Alexander lifted a hand, bringing a momentary pause. Blake's well-rehearsed delivery, in fact. Let me share with you a tale about a remarkable vehicle known as the Azure. In the depths of the night, a coupe gleamed in midnight blue, reflecting the warmth of Blake's smile. Expanded splendid selection, my good sir, one among. Only 15 were crafted this year, and I'm thrilled to reveal that it's truly. I see it clearly, Alexander, right over there. My wife made her presence known, gracefully interrupting the moment. Yesterday, I found myself captivated by it. Blake's customer service grin persisted, resolved. Yet uncertainty danced in his gaze upon your beloved, though the memory eludes me, perhaps. A colleague of mine lent her a helping hand. Alexander's demeanor shifted, a chill settling over his features. No, Mr. Thompson, you aided her, or instead, you chose not to lend her a hand. Margaret Collins, clad in her favorite jeans, stepped into the scene. And a white T-shirt that you recommended she wear could perhaps find it easier to gaze upon. Pre-owned vehicles. The life ebbed from Blake's. His face lit up as the realization began to unfold behind him. Caught a faint breath from Daniel, who had. I've been lingering close to Mr. Collins, Blake stammered his customary fluid expression. Leaving him behind surely holds some significance. In the spirit of openness, we embrace everyone, despite any misunderstandings that may arise. By this time, Richard Mason had gathered customers here. Moved closer, feeling the atmosphere shift. Is everything all right, Blake, as we weave this tale together? With a keen eye, Alexander shifted his focus to the, I take it you are referring to the esteemed Mr. Mason, Richard Mason, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. A warm welcome to the enchanting world of Boston luxury. Motors. Thank you for your patience as I weave this tale of explanation. To Mr. Thompson regarding my wife's visit. Yesterday, I found myself captivated by the idea of making a purchase. She gifted her sister an Azure coupe. Was, however, treated in a way that I discover the unease in Richard's expression, transformed swiftly from inviting to. I'm truly sorry to hear that you're feeling this way. I find myself reflecting on a fleeting involvement in exchange, yet I remained oblivious to everything. The details, Alexander nodded. With great care. The particulars encompass your. As a guide in the realm of sales, I propose that individuals such as her have no place in an establishment such as this founded entirely on. Her relaxed outfit had drawn a modest gathering around her, had rallied the support of fellow salespeople, the team and a handful of initial patrons. The showroom fell into an eerie silence. Mr. Collins Blake felt the tendrils of desperation begin to creep into his voice, if it held any. It was not a misunderstanding. In a moment of confusion, Daniel suddenly spoke up. All eyes were fixed on the young salesman, who gazed in astonishment at the bravery he had discovered within himself. Miss Collins faced unkind treatment. She was gracious and clear regarding her enthusiasm. In the vast expanse of Azure, she found herself dismissed. Time and again, influenced by her looks, Blake cast a piercing gaze at Daniel. Yet the damage had been done, and Alexander turned back to, Richard Mason. What a fascinating character he is. My wife discovered it and now manages the Collins, an organization dedicated to supporting children with. Her life's work has been dedicated to disabilities. Long before our paths crossed, she had already raised over $50 million for specialized medical care. The tools and learning initiatives he paused, allowing this to settle in. Maggie selects a modest outfit as she holds a strong conviction for embracing a life of simplicity, even in the face of our. It signifies that she feels a sense of connection. To the family she assists, it's one of the. There are endless reasons why my heart is drawn to her. Richard Mason had turned ashen, Mr. Collins, I assure you. This does not embody the principles of At our dealership, we take great pride in. Deeds resonate more profoundly than intentions. Narratives from Mr. Mason Alexander. Interrupted with a sense of authority now concerning the Azure. My intention isn't to acquire merely a single one. Vehicle. Blake perked up slightly at this. A flicker of optimism in the midst of challenges. Amidst his turmoil, I found myself devising a plan to buy the Azure for my wife's sister, as Maggie had envisioned. Yet I found myself contemplating a renewal of our fleet. There are 7 corporate vehicles in total, and the personal collection is in need of a refresh. As well, Mason's eyes widened at the sight of a sale. Such a scale would render their quarterly targets in a single. In the midst of the transaction, Alexander pressed on, undeterred. I often ponder if this is the perfect place for such a significant investment. In the silence of the showroom was simply captivating, and Blake's gaze was fixed upon it. Once upon a time, there was a man named Mr. Collins Richard, who found himself in a state of physical illness. With all my heart, I find myself at a loss for words to express how deeply I regret my actions. In light of this unfortunate incident, I assure you, my friend, this is not the way we weave the tapestry of our trade. We kindly ask for the opportunity to set things right. Alexander paused to ponder this for a moment. In a moment of reflection, he pondered aloud, maybe there's a path ahead. At long last, yet it would demand more than just offering me vehicles. Whatever you have, Richard swiftly reassured him, the Collins. A grand benefit gala is being hosted by the Foundation. In the coming month, we will embark on a journey to gather support for a new endeavor. A haven for young athletes, the adaptive sports complex is designed specifically for children. Blake, who faces physical challenges, he faced the embarrassed sales manager. I believe your presence would impart valuable knowledge. Blake swallowed hard, not as a guest, but with a weight of significance. Alexander took a moment to explain his role as a volunteer. The Foundation is constantly on the lookout for individuals to lend a hand with the setup to support the young ones, to witness directly the efforts being. The implications were unmistakable. This much was evident. It had evolved beyond merely selling cars. It was a journey into the essence of understanding, an exploration of the essence of humanity. With unwavering focus, Alexander kept his gaze on Richard, speaking with intent. Mason, the dealership may want to think about crafting a training program on unconscious bias. I am aware of several. Richard nodded in agreement, acknowledging the exceptional consultants. With great enthusiasm, we would wholeheartedly welcome an endeavor like this for the vehicles. Alexander turned to the young Daniel, a salesman who had found his voice, expressing his desire for your attention, to take care of all the paperwork beginning with the Azure for my dear sister-in-law. Daniel's eyes grew wide as he expressed his gratitude. Thank you, sir. It would be my utmost honor, good Alexander, he said with. Now, let us delve into the matter of finality. Details of the corporate fleet as they, with purpose. Alexander made his way to Mason's office, halted before the Azure. My wife has a hand along its sleek contour. Doesn't she have excellent taste behind them? Blake Thompson stood still. An ideal realm transformed at its core. The stark reality had at last revealed itself to. He had unveiled his true nature, not through how he regarded those he believed significant, yet through the way he interacted with those he held as truth. Just a month had passed when the Foundation Benefit Gala transformed the Grand Boston Hotel transformed into a vibrant celebration of the potential for children with diverse families and individuals with disabilities came together in a vibrant gathering, with benefactors, healthcare experts, and enthusiastic fans gathered by the entrance, eagerly awaiting Blake. Thompson adorned himself in a manner quite different from his customary garb. However, the staff uniform was directed visitors and lent a helping hand to a young lad in the past month had transformed the wheelchair. His volunteer work at the deeply moved him. The Foundation began as A.D. Udi, the cost of expert endurance. However, an unexpected twist unfolded as he observed the struggles faced by these children, confront each day, and the grace with which, across the room, they encountered Maggie. Collins graced the scene in a lovely blue dress, exuding an air of elegance. She approached him, fully aware of who she was dealing with. Once more, Blake found himself captivated by her. Without any heirs, how are you discovering? The tale unfolds as Blake inquired of her. Ponder the inquiry with great thought. With a sense of humility, he finally responded, and, essentially, Maggie nodded, as Thomas appears to. She noticed that she had developed a fondness for you. Speaking of the young lad in the wheelchair, he's sharing insights on adaptive. Blake confessed, it seems, that I have a passion for basketball. Have dreadful form this evoked a true response. Maggie's laughter reveals the truth about him. He's a coach you can trust. Blake's expression took on a weighty gravity, Mrs. Collins. I understand that I've offered my apologies in a formal manner. However, I must express it plainly. I apologize for my behavior towards you. It was uncalled for. Ah, you make a fair point, don't you think? Understood, yet posed without any ill intent. Is what you've learned truly without value? Shaped by how one is seen, their place or, he said thoughtfully about his possessions and, that all individuals are worthy of respect until they demonstrate a different truth. Not the opposite. Maggie recognized the valuable lessons that surrounded her. I'm envisioning the costly ones as well, Blake. Roll nodded, contemplating the significant. The dealership had experienced a decline in business when, once upon a time, Alexander Collins made the choice to buy just the Azure, leaving out the extras. Every penny spent on the fleet was worth it, he replied. With heartfelt sincerity, Alexander stood across the room, joined them, resting a tender hand upon his. Blake was simply sharing a moment on his wife's shoulder. Maggie shared some of his insights. Alexander nodded, acknowledging the words that echoed in the air. A promise of transformation, deeply engaged in the world of adaptive sports. Indeed, I've gone ahead and signed up for the program, sir. To persist in volunteering afterwards. In the moment of anticipation, he paused, caught in a web of uncertainty. I've been collaborating with Mr. Mason on transforming our customer engagement. At the dealership, the days of qualifying are behind us. Ah, how delightful it is to hear that, Alexander. Then, to Blake's astonishment, added, which brings to mind that corporate fleet I noted that we remain active in the market. Maybe you could take care of that. In A Tale of Commerce, Daniel extols the virtues of how you've been guiding him, Blake's. The look of surprise was evident beforehand. Finding a deep sense of appreciation, It is with great honor, Mr. Collins, that I express my sincere appreciation. As the evening unfolded and the event drew to a close, down below, Blake observed Maggie and Alexander Collins mingling with the crowd, subtly engaging without showing off their riches or power, yet forging connections. Truly connects with every child and family. He contemplated the depth of his. The way we see things had changed over the course of a month. In the past, he would have brushed off someone like Maggie Collins with her laid-back demeanor. Now, he grasped the essence of what was truly real. True worth lay far beyond the surface of designer labels. Luxury cars or prestigious titles like Blake assisted Thomas in returning to his wheelchair. Following the photo session, the boy beamed with delight. Ah, Mr. Blake, you see, it's all about him. Isn't it? Quite impressive for an adult, Blake beamed. Ah, coming from you, Thomas, that's quite the statement. The greatest praise I've ever been given in an eternity had passed. And he truly believed it. We all did. Form opinions based on outward looks. Do we not? Yet as Blake Thompson unveiled the depths that lie beneath the surface, can unveil remarkable individuals and transformative moments await if this tale struck a chord with you. Please give it a tap. Become a part of our community by hitting that subscribe button. To all the enthusiasts of tales, we eagerly await share your reflections in the comments below. Have you ever formed an opinion about someone based on how one might be perceived or misunderstood by others? Your experiences have the power to ignite inspiration in others. And keep in mind the genuine gauge of prosperity is unrelated to the balance in your bank account. It's about the way you engage with others when you believe that no significant observer is present. Witness this. You in our upcoming tale where another. A profound lesson lies in wait.